Hello, this is Nicole Dirks from Miss Sharp's 9 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday class, or what once was. And today I'm going to be talking about the coronavirus. And now I know everybody hears about it all the time. You can't turn the news on without seeing something about it. And I know that can get really old really fast, but I think it's very important that we all understand why it's so important that we take our precautions to stop the spread of it. And so during this global pandemic, the most crucial thing for you and those in your community to do is to just stay home. And I know it's hard, but it's so important because it can stop a lot from happening. This ensures not only your safety from the dangerous virus, but it also blocks you from spreading it to those in your community and those in your household that may be more susceptible than you. Now, COVID-19 is a very serious respiratory illness that can range from mild symptoms to a life-threatening infection. According to the World Health Organization, common symptoms include fever, tiredness, and dry cough. And in a quote from the World Health Organization, updated on March of 2020, about 80% of people do recover from the disease without needing special treatment, which is great news. But also, about 1 of every 6 people who get COVID-19 become seriously ill and develop difficulty breathing, which can become a very big problem and end up with a lot of people hospitalized on those ventilators that people are always talking about. And so, because there's such a wide range of how people feel and how people show symptoms when they are sick with the coronavirus, it is difficult to know who is sick. This is why it's important for you to stay home whenever possible to avoid any accidental contact with COVID-19, because you may just not know, and they may not know that they have it. And so how COVID-19 spreads. So the main way that COVID-19 spreads is through person-to-person contact, which is described as being within 6 feet of another person. And then the other main way that it spreads is through respiratory droplets, which sounds really gross, and it kind of is. That is what comes out whenever you sneeze or cough. And the reason why that spreads so bad is that not only that can spread through the air and you can breathe it in, you can also sneeze on your hand or something and then touch something, and then that object now has the germs for the coronavirus on it. Somebody else comes along and touches it, and then they touch their face. Now they've contracted it. And so that is why it is so important that we wash our hands for at least 20 seconds as often as we can. Now, according to the Disease of Control, or the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, which is the CDC, they claim that some spread might be possible before people even show symptoms, which once again proves that you may not even know, and that person may not even know that they are sick, and they can still get you sick, which is very dangerous. Now, the risk of others. Staying home not only protects you, but it also helps protect those that may be at more risk than you. So many people in their teens and 20s have said that they do not believe they need to take this virus seriously because they are young and healthy. And while it is true that if you contract the coronavirus and show mild symptoms, you likely will recover without needing special treatment. However, you can still very easily spread that virus to those that are more susceptible than you. Whether that's parents, grandparents, or if you have siblings or cousins that maybe have underlying conditions that can make them more susceptible, you really have to take that into consideration. So according to AARP.com, in an article published in March of 2020, older adults experience a gradual deterioration of their immune system. This makes it harder for their body to fight off diseases and infection. Many are also likely to have underlying conditions that hinder the body's ability to cope and recover from illness. People with health conditions like heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes need to be especially careful to avoid exposure to COVID-19. And according to the Diabetes Research Institute, 34.2 million people, or 10.5% of the US population, has diabetes. So that means 1 out of every 10 people that you may come into contact with in public are likely to have diabetes. And that doesn't even include those who have a weakened immune systems, have pre-existing respiratory problems, maybe asthma, which is very common, or heart disease, which is a very, very common disease in the United States. And so you really need to think about who else you're putting at risk whenever you're going out in public and whenever you are visiting friends and family, because you don't know what kind of conditions people in your friends' families might have. You don't even know what kind of conditions the people that your parents are seeing might have. So it's a ripple effect, and it's very important that you pay attention to where you're going and you take these precautions. Now, in conclusion, staying home is the most effective way to slow the spread of COVID-19. Though not everybody is taking it seriously, COVID-19 is a very dangerous virus that can quickly get out of control if we do not do our part in stopping it. Staying home can ensure your safety from others in your community that may have the virus. Remember that you can still get sick from those who may not know they have it or do not show symptoms yet. Staying home also keeps those in public, your friends and your family, safer if you do contract COVID-19 or if you're carrying it. Always think of those who are more susceptible than you when you're going out and for unnecessary reasons and the danger that you're putting them in. With the White House estimating 100,000 to 200,000 deaths in the United States alone due to this outbreak, it is obvious that action needs to be taken to lessen the effects and flatten the curve as shown on the screen. And we also need to take in consideration those who are fighting this virus on a day-to-day basis and the effort that they are putting in and the stress that is on them, and how much more stress that we put on them the longer that we take to lessen the effects. Think about your healthcare workers, those in the hospitals, those who are manufacturing the goods for the people that are in the hospitals, morticianers. That's really sad to think about, but it's true that we are putting a lot of stress on a lot of people who are trying their best to do their jobs, and all they want is for us to do our part in staying home. I mean, seriously, that's not that much to ask of people. And so I think it is very important that we all take that into consideration and do our part and just stay home.